Hello and welcome back. Okay. Let's continue our journey to the north. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. Gotta check that the recording. Well, the road itself is straightforward. Getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They will attack their own countrymen. They spare their own, but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though we'll be trying to avoid detection, the chance of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to finish them off. Those two will follow you, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. Well, I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back. I will not take the chance. If that's it, let us proceed. I see why your comrades chose you. This, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered, as we call them. Your people will need to be taken into custody, that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people, they are beyond saving. Those who think differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. Wonder if they know that the Jotun that they have here are void sent. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue onward. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of a desire to remain undiscovered, and that's still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. Don't gotta worry about our train hitting us. I think they're beyond just being tempered at this point. Look as what they have become. Could you still stand here and claim that they can be cured? Those exposed to a vast quantity of primal ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. And you admit now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. We do have a cure. It's called death. We're almost there. You have kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine. This way. This is Tritum, one of Garlemald's large stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. Oh, I thought you said stairs. I'm waiting for stairs. Still no stairs. There's a lot of people here. The Aether is not responding. Oh, that's just great, ain't it? It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, if Julius was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but they're still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Loud voices. While you may be here as my guest, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir.
How do you drive the locomotive from here? I guess with all those dials and stuff.
I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Vankina, Legatus of the First Legion.
Since it runs on ceruleum, it should be a lot better.
First? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and Empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference. To make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
Pretty sure Edgar could just fight his way out.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop. Keep away from that one. The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if he allowed himself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If he refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for? You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
Cabbage. As for Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Deuterium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any means to remove your collar, nor would I tell you if I did, and if you try anything, you soon wish you had it. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean, or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats, and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries, understood? Though we've somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation, and above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go whatsoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. Do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphino and Alize will pay the price. You overestimate the ability that Edgar has to care about them. Alphino causes more problems than anything. You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you best keep your hands off the Aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans, for Garleans could teleport all over in a blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days over, we use Aetheryte's power to keep this place lit. though that comes at the cost of its normal function. I know who you are, the so-called champion of Eozoria. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Damn toward the sutures. Of all the times, the worst of the lot, within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it wasn't for the thirds bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Vigorous treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life, but we made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then night fell and we gathered around the radio. Then the roar, the terrible roar, the capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy, mind intact but broken, body broken, a soldier in name alone. I'll cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. Edgar's done worse. So cold. Hector's on the verge of losing consciousness. It's you, Edgar Magic. I served under Lord Gaius and the 14th Legion. I was there on the night of the Praetoriums fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them. My comrades, my friends, swept them aside in their dozens, as though they were nothing to you. And maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down, but it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve, mark my words. Edgar could probably just sweep through this entire place without breaking a sweat. This radio is the same model as the one used at Victor's Spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. Do you learn anything of note? Then your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth or improper nutrients, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help us tend to them? What the fuck is Edgar going to do? You can bash him over the head with the scythe. Who's there? My eyes, I can't see it all that well. Thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. So, those you met fare no better. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made this feeling on the other matter quite clear, but even he must recognize that they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Julius can persuade him, though we need to persuade Julius first. Well, seen enough. Julius, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions for nearby houses, as most families keep some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting in it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greatest concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been been other refugees, or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, something will change. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or, in the bastard words, loyal servants of the Telophoroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stood in its place. We've identified the seat of the enemy's power. We realized Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the Provisional Legions to prepare for a combined assault on the Telophoroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills, then we will reclaim the capital for our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word and we will bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. Your lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we are outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. I still like that they're paying Edgar for doing this. Edgar, who's here against his will, is still getting paid by them. Ah, they're going to even pay him with gloves. We will begin our search for ceruleum and Regio Urbancium. The first location is Forum Solus, a park to the northwest of this station. You are to remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. Follow me! I'll lead the way. I'm a lucky intricate car. Yeah, I thought about getting that mount. It's, I decided not to. What was it that you need to fight a fate boss to get it or something? In Shadowbringers. I've only ever seen it spawn a handful of times. Never once really cared to try to go fight it to get them out. I think that's how you get them out. It might have been how you got the pet. Yeah, I don't remember. It's been too long since the last time I went mountain looking. I should probably do it again soon though. Probably when the next update pops out. Because I'm currently working on just getting 2 different types of mounts, which are just luck based. Well, one of them's luck based entirely, the other one just where you can get certain resources. So this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational area came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. This part was named after the founding father of the Empire of the Great, Solus Azos Galvis. Did we come to expect from the wrecked Magitech armor? No, we already drained it dry. Same goes for the rest of the mechana in the vicinity. But as our ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I've decided to try one more time in case something has been overlooked. You see, then with your permission, we will commence the search. I think I got maybe one more recording to do after this, and then I'll probably stop for the night. Courtesy inspection of the wreckage confirms that the fuel canisters have been long since been drained of ceruleum, just as Julius said. Ah, the ultimate gazebo! It does not let the rain nor snow out. It lets everyone in. It forms a rock. Whatever, it appears to have some symbolic meaning related to the park. This park, even though the place is named after Solus, it doesn't seem to be a statue of him. Well, at least not anymore. Maybe it was once a fountain, or somewhere the man himself used to sit. Not that it would matter, even if we knew, but I can't help wondering. Edgar must use the slide! As it was intended. Going up! The construction is built in the style of Imperial war mecha, armed with a battery of weapons and capable of transforming into different configurations, but on close inspection it appears to be no more than a children's slide. Appears... Oh, there. Ignores it as he stares at the water in silence, as if searching for something he knows has gone and will never return. His reflection. No. No. Why don't we just bust open one of the whatever they're called, slashers. Let's bust one open and take this ceruleum out of it. I don't imagine there would be much need for Magitech in a park of all places, but then again, I wasn't raised in Garden mode. They have uses for ceruleum that I have yet to consider. They have it for heated beds. Oh. A rather small by Garland standards, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant stall, though it was built for children to play at shopkeeper. There is nothing inside resembling Magitech or any other devices that would be fueled by ceruleum. One of the things I have thought about is that they didn't do what we did with the Doman Enclave here for Garlemald. It would have been an interesting thing to have to do that here. But I had thought about what if they did do it. Because it wouldn't be donating, it would be, because the Domans you don't really donate to them, they buy what you're trading to them at an increased price. I can imagine if they did it here, they would buy from you from a less price. But as time would go on and more your donations, it would become more and more. Instead of the 100 you start with Doma, it would be like, I don't know, like 50. And then it might have gone up all the way to 200 eventually, just like how it is in Doma. Several points of interest are marked on the map of Solus form. Solus the pond, children's play area. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of ceruleum. Considering that the pond isn't frozen over, I'm more concerned what's in it. What's keeping it from being frozen over? Are they just pouring antifreeze into the pond over here that children have easy access to? Oh, it's you. Any luck? There's no signs of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. Can't notice you're gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? Well, yes, I mean, no, It's just, I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all the other children, they just had to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done every time. And every time when we'd get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a ceruleum-powered heater, by chance? I suppose it must have been. Come to think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath the hatch. But that was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this, brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch must be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth and there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Julius, what are your thoughts on magic? The average gremlin would jump out of their skin if they saw it, but the first has a few foreign signifiers and medici, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now? Alphino, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of her fire should do the trick. Leave it to me. You're not planning to go in there, are you? Of course I am. The tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake, like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. Fancy a dip? A dip? Step aside while I'll drink the pond dry. That may be the stupidest thing I've heard in a while, and that's saying something considering who my brother is. I can't fault your enthusiasm, though. Let's do it my way first, and if that doesn't work, perhaps then you can try your method with Alphino's help. Edgar forgets to eat his food. But fine. Nothing. Oh, shut up. Edgar's fine. Brain damage achieved. Her grand discovery comes at the great personal cost as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and rancid odor emitting from every elm of your body. Julius would doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver to him your prize. Did you find anything? I hope you did. Uncovering hidden treasure is an adventurer's bread and butter, though one is not normally required to go elbow deep in ice-cold, stagnant pond water to retrieve it. Nevertheless, many would choose that over mowing down hordes of slavering beasts or solving annoying puzzles. Especially the annoying puzzles part. That's it, and there's still some sterlium left. The fire's still not ready. Hold on, I'll give Alphino a hand. Call me Neil Dawn, because by fire I am reborn, and my clothes are mostly dry now. I appreciate you recovering this sterlium, but I wish you've taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated in Lord Quince's eyes, you're still an voice deserving of protection. If he were to die on my watch, he would be most pleased. Your concern is duly noted, but all well that ends well. Julius, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contribution to the Empire, awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything, it was everything you could imagine and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat, and sitting down for a hot meal with family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly in that brief respite, the ice would melt and the forgotten grass make its triumphant return. Gray clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings we'd climb to the top of the tallest buildings we could find to watch the sunrise. Never again, those rooftops are rubble, those friends dead, and those memories. But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had, soon our chance will come. We just need to hold on a little longer. Yeah, he just paid me in gloves. Well, Edgar in gloves, technically. They're still paying Edgar. Only reason why Edgar's here, they're paying him to be here. He's a paid prisoner. Oh, all Edgar needs is the headpiece. Actually, now I think about it, can I just... Yeah, I completely forgot you could just do this from this screen. I noticed that the monk looks kind of like it's a different color. It might be just the shine that's causing that. Wait a minute. Careful. Alright, now that you've recovered from your escapades in the pond, there's another location I'd like to go search just outside the park. As you can see, this place is littered with the remnants of various types of war machina. While my comrades and I already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took a more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time, that time being now. Rather than prize them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I would advise you stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. Before even bothering, though, you should check the Machina Ceruleum gauge to see if there is any left. It should still provide an accurate reading, even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use an explosive or not. Should you need more, come to me. That's right, let's get to work. So engage, this tank is empty. It appears to have been broken, giving you no way to determine the fuel in the tank may hold. Probably nothing, considering its vicinity to the park. This unit's fuel tank is empty. You have no way to determine. Let's do it here, because this one's significantly farther away. Trying to find it's still half full or half empty, depending on one's perception. Either way, Julius will surely be pleased by your discovery. I just happened to choose that one because, like, it's farther away from the ones that they could easily get to. More explosives? Wait, is that what I think it is? Not only did this tank survive the attack that disabled the Warg Machina in which it was installed, it also escaped the blast of your explosives unscathed. If medals for outstanding service was awarded to inanimate objects, this champion among Ceruleum tanks would surely deserve one. You've done it again. Truly, luck is on your side. Which is, with this, we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. It's time we headed back. Wait, wait here while I'll go and see how Alizé and Alphino are faring. Well, I have a wait thing, and not just go straight into it, like if into a scene or something that we're waiting here for. Yeah, that. Why wouldn't it just immediately go to that after the dialogue was over?
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we? Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen.
Damn it, Thancred! You've developed telepathy!
After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of our scouts follow you at a discreet distance. We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside. When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything.
The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise.
This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel.
Then again, he could just be using Edgar's horns, since Aru's horns are their receptive organs. That's how they're able to hear. I think that's how it is. I don't know. I don't remember it. It's been too long. One of these days I gotta refresh my memory on some of the biology of some of these guys.
An interesting development. and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up. For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them. With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
They had not gone far.
Yes, we know. We could see you from here.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage. For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
We got the telepathy, and we got the telepathy.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground. Brought back a king's ransom?
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile. It's a poor attempt at humor. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Lord Quintus!
Edgar does it.
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
But, sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
Maybe because his third eye is so high up on his forehead that's right up against his hairline. Maybe that's the reason why he's so grumpy. Because if that is as sensitive as an eye, you have to imagine that is hurting like hell. To have it just touching your hairline.
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question. Will they ever escape this cult? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Eula spoke?
Finished your war, Council?
Alphino and Alizé are to stay here as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil. Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
After everything we've said and done, this is how you treat us.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
Get them out of here.
There's not an option to say Edgar to tell him to do it. To find out how truly that is not going to help do anything against them. Slightly annoys Alizé, proceeds to kick Julius's ass. Alpha and Alizé will be fine, providing they do not resist. And that will be the end of this episode. And I'll see you all in the next.